Alexee Treviso was just 19 years old when she delivered her son in a hospital emergency room washroom and ended up putting him in a garbage can. Her trial starts this summer. She's having a pre-trial date in July, and the actual trial will be starting in August. So here is everything you need to know about her case. Alexee was complaining to her mother of extreme back pain, and her mother ended up taking her to the hospital. They arrived at the emergency room at about 12:03 a.m. on January 27th. One of the first questions the hospital staff asked Alexee was if she could be pregnant. She assured everyone that there was no way she could be pregnant because she was actually on her period and was a virgin. They immediately started to give her muscle relaxants, and a few minutes later, they started administering morphine through an IV. At 12:28 a.m., despite Alexee saying she was on her period and a virgin, the hospital did do blood work and took a pregnancy test. At 12:51, the computers showed that the results came back showing Alexee was in fact pregnant. However, no one informed her or her mother of this. At 1:39 a.m., Alexee informed the hospital staff that she had to really use the washroom. They ended up taking out the IV that was administering the morphine, and she's seen in this surveillance video rushing to the washroom with her hand on her behind. A staff member almost immediately checked on Alexee to see what was going on. She told them that she was just having trouble using the washroom. Hospital staff ended up checking on her at 1:49 a.m., 1:53, and again at 1:56. Her mother also checked on her a number of times. Now, hospital staff has been interviewed saying that they could hear the toilet repeatedly being flushed outside of the washroom. And by the time 1:57 came, they were so concerned that they had gone and gotten a key to the washroom. And just as they were about to open the door, Alexee came out. The staff says that the washroom was covered in blood. They said there was blood all behind the toilet, all over the wall, and all over the floor. And it looked like someone had tried to clean it up and it was just smeared everywhere. Someone did look inside the garbage can and it was a fresh bag and nothing inside. A few minutes later, one of the custodians at the hospital went into the washroom to clean it. She was in there for about 20 minutes before realizing that the garbage can was not actually empty. What had happened was Alexee had taken out the garbage bag, put her son and all of the other items she'd used to try to clean up the blood in the bathroom in this garbage bag, tied it, and put it on the bottom of the garbage can, and then put a new garbage bag on top. So if anyone looked in the garbage can, it would look like there was nothing in it. The custodian finds this bag, unfortunately. She immediately alerts hospital staff, and they take the baby over to Trauma 2, where it's pronounced dead. A nurse at the time reported that the umbilical cord was still attached to the young baby, and it looked like an animal had chewed through it. They also noted that there was no placenta in the bag, and they believed that Alexee may have flushed it. Police were called and they ended up interviewing Alexee and her mother in the hospital emergency room. Alexee was quoted as saying to them, "I'm sorry, it came out of me and I didn't know what to do. I was scared." Alexee claims that the baby wasn't breathing and wasn't crying when it was born, that she panicked and just put the baby in the trash can. The autopsy, however, says opposite. The autopsy actually ruled this as a homicide and said that it was due to asphyxiation. The autopsy said that it showed no abnormalities or any previous physical injuries to the baby at all. They said that there was air in the lungs and the stomach, and the adrenal glands showed microscopic hemorrhaging, which is seen in hypoxia or lack of air. They said all of this is consistent with a baby being born alive, and they said the baby was about 38 weeks, so full term. Alexee's boyfriend at the time also arrived at the hospital. This is Devin with his mother, and he also claimed he had no idea of her pregnancy. There have been a lot of pictures floating around of Alexee at this time. This is one of her cheerleading where it is very obvious that Alexee is pregnant. She claims that she thought she was gaining weight and was actually taking weight loss medication at the time. Alexee has been charged with first-degree murder and 1 count of tampering with evidence. However, her lawyer, Gary Mitchell, is now filing a suit against the hospital. He is suing them for wrongful death. Her lawyer says that this is all the hospital's fault, that they caused this with this cocktail of medication that they gave her. He says that in the autopsy, it showed that the baby tested positive for 0.19 nanograms of morphine, that the baby had COVID, influenza A and B, and SARS, which is severe acute respiratory syndrome. He also claims that the hospital violated the HIPAA laws by allowing these police officers to come in with their body camera and interview Alexee about medical situations. He says the hospital failed to respond to the positive pregnancy test in a reasonable amount of time, and says her medical records, lab results, and the videos should never have been released to the public. Now, Alexee was arrested but released on bond. This is her attending prom after everything that had happened with Devin, the father of her son. This is a recent picture of Alexee. It was taken at a Walmart just this past month. So this summer, Alexee is going to be on trial. Her pre-trial hearing is going to be on July 22nd, and the trial is going to start on August 26th. Make sure you hit follow because I will definitely be covering this case.